بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Math grade 6. We are in chapter 12 lesson 5. Today we want to learn interpret line graphs. So see with me this video.
Chapter 12, Lesson 5, Interpret Line Graphs. You will be able to draw and interpret line graphs. A line graph is how a set of data changes over a period of time. To make a line graph, decide on a scale and interval. Then graph pairs of data and draw a line to connect each point. Make a line graph of the data of Earth's population. Describe the change in Earth's population from 1750 to 2000. So the first thing we're going to do is plot these points. Our year is on the bottom and population is on the vertical axis. Time, year, minutes, days will always be on bottom and on the x-axis. And a line graph always shows changes over time. So year 1750, the population is 790. So at 1750, which is, these lines right here. It's a little hard to tell because they're slanted. I'll draw in little dashes. Okay. So 1750, 790, we'll say about here. 1800 was 980, so a little bit closer. 1850 was 1260. 1900 was 1650. 1950 was 2555. And 2000 was 6080. Okay. So now that we have our data, we connect each dot with a line, each set of dots. Okay. That's all there is to it, to making a line graph. Now we need to describe the change in Earth's population from 1750 to 2000. And I would say going from 790 to 6,000 is quite a drastic jump. So let's go ahead and say that. Earth's population has increased, it went up, so increased drastically from 1750 to 2000. That's all we need to do there, just one quick sentence describing the change. Letter B, make a line graph of the data, describe the change in the number of building permits filed from 2005 to 2010. So again, we're using these dashes here, these lines here. In 2005, it was 16,000. In 2006, it was 15,500. In 2007, it was 13,900. Then it was 11,000. 8,200. And then 5,900. Okay, let's connect the dots with lines. All right, and now describe the change in the number of building permits filed from 2005 to 2010. Okay, it definitely decreased. So let's write that down. The number of building permits filed is, we'll say, a sharp decrease. From 2005 to 2010. Interpret line graphs. By observing the upward or downward slant of the lines connecting the points, you can describe the trends in data and predict future events. The line graph below shows the cost of tuition at a college during several years. Describe the trend, then predict how much tuition will cost in 2020. Well, the trend here, it's definitely increasing, okay, and it's fairly steady. It's, increases a little bit each year. So it's definitely increasing at somewhat of a steady rate. So what we can do is we can extend that graph to 2020 to make a prediction. So first, let's jot down the trend. Let's describe the trend. So the trend is increasing. The trend is that the cost of tuition is increasing at a relatively steady rate. Okay. And now let's make a prediction. By extending the graph, we can predict that tuition in 2020 will be about, well, let's see. It's not quite $12,000, just under, so we can say $11,500. And we can actually, all we would need is this part. The tuition in 2020 will be about $11,500. Letter B. The line graph shows the growth of a plant over several weeks. Describe the trend, then predict how tall the plant will be in 7 weeks. So it looks like it's growing pretty slowly, and then it speeds up between week 2 and week 4 and increases fairly steadily. So let's jot that down. The plant grows slowly at first, then increases steadily. And we are predicting it 7 weeks, so let's go ahead and extend our graph. So it looks like maybe about there. And at 7 weeks, it looks like about 11 inches. So at 7 weeks, the height of the plant will be about 11 inches. What does the graph tell you about the popularity of skateboarding? Well, if we look at it, it's definitely increasing, the popularity. This has to do with skateboard sales. So obviously, if more skateboards are selling, then it's becoming more popular. So throughout the course of the years, it definitely appears that more skateboards are being sold at a steady rate, which means it's becoming more popular. So let's jot that down in maybe not so many words. The graph shows that skateboard sales have been increasing. Oops. Each year at a steady rate. You can assume that the popularity of skateboarding also increases.
So today we want to learn how to draw and interpret line graphs. What's the meaning of a line graph? A line graph is used to show how a set of data changes over a period of time. See with me now this video.
What is 3 plus 4? Check your answer. Today, let us learn on a new type of graph called line graph. Shall we begin? Line graphs are used to show data that changes over a period of time. This graph is created by connecting a series of data points together with a line segment. Kids, every line graph has certain elements. Let us look at this line graph and understand its elements. Firstly, the title. The title tells us what is being represented. The given line graph shows the rainfall from April to July. Next is the x-axis or horizontal axis. It shows the different time periods or the names of things being compared. In this line graph, the x-axis indicates the names of the months. Lastly, y-axis or vertical axis. It has numbers for whatever is being measured. The y-axis usually starts at 0 and can be divided into as many equal parts as you want to. In the given line graph, the y-axis is measuring the amount of rainfall. Now, let us learn how to read a line graph. This line graph shows the temperature recorded for the first 6 days in the month of January. Here, the title Temperature in Mumbai tells us that the line graph is about the temperature in Mumbai recorded for the first 6 days in the month of January. The x-axis indicates the number representing the days in January. And the y-axis gives the information about the temperature recorded in degrees Celsius. Now observe this line graph and answer the questions. 1. What is the temperature on day 5? 28 degrees Celsius is the temperature on day 5. Next, 2. Which was the hottest day? Here, the highest temperature of 35 degrees Celsius was recorded on day 2. Thus, we say, day 2 was the hottest day. Coming to 3. Which was the coldest day? As day 3 has the least temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, the answer is day 3. Lastly, 4. Which 2 days had the same temperature and what was the temperature? Looking at the data points, we can say that day 1 and day 6 have the same temperature. And the temperature corresponding to the data point is 30 degrees Celsius. Kids, wasn't it fun learning on line graph?
No, it's not fun.
For example, we have here example 1. The question here, make a line graph of the data below. Describe the change in a membership from 2008 to 2012. As you see here inside the table, this table about photography club membership. The first column here we have the year, and the second column here we have the number of members or the number of students. So here we have 28, we have 10 students. In 29 we have 15 students. In 2010 we have 18. In 2011 we have 24. In 2012 we have 30. How to draw the line graph? How to draw the line graph? The first step, draw the number line, draw the x-axis, draw the x-axis. Then draw the y-axis, draw the y-axis. Then represent the numbers on the number line. For example, here we have 2008, start from 2008. Then we have 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. And here start from 10 to 30. So here we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now match between the x-axis and the y-axis. How? Here we have relationship between 28 and 10. This is 28 and this is 10. Match between them. Match between them. The point will be here. Then here we have 29, 15. This is 29 and 15 between 10 and 20 at the middle here. So much between them, the point will be here. And here we have 2010 and 18. This is 2010 and this is 18. So much between them, the point will be here. Now here we have 2011 and 24. This is 2011 and 24 between 20 and 30. 24 between 20 and 30. So this is 2011 here and 24 here. So the point will be here. 2012, 30. 2012, 30. Here 2012 and here 30. Much between them, the point will be here. Now draw between the 2 points the segment line. From here to here, segment line, and here and here and here. So this is the meaning. This is the meaning of graph line. Now, how to read the result? As you see, in the first year, 2008, the number of students will be 10, and in the last year, the number of students will be 30. So will be increased. What is the relationship between 30 and 10? 30 equal 10 multiplied by 3. So means the result will be tripled. So I can write here membership in the photography club tripled from 2008 to 2012. The second example. So this example we learned how to draw the graph line. The second example, if I have the graph line, how to read the information from this graph, how to know the data, how to know the relationship between the data from the graph line. As you see here, the question, here you have example 2. The line graph shows the weight of a kitten over several weeks. Describe the trend, then predict the kitten's weight at 12 weeks. Okay. The x-axis here, as you see, represent the weeks, and the y-axis represent the weight in ounces. Now I want to learn what is the relationship between the week and weight. Here we have 4 in y-axis. We don't have the value in x-axis here. Means no weeks, no weeks. So the first weight will be 4. Then in the week 2, the weight will be 7. The weight will be 7. In the week 4, the weight will be 10. The weight will be 10. In the week 6, the weight will be 16. In the week 8, the weight will be 24. In the week 10, the weight will be 32. As you note, as you see here, is it the result increasing or decreasing? We will see here increasing, because here will be 4, then here will be 10, then will be here will be 7, then will be 10, then will be 16, then will be 24, then will be 32. So the line here increasing, the line here increasing. So I can write here the kitten's weight is increasing, The third example, I have also here a graph, and I want to take the information from this graph. So the question here, use the graph that shows internet users in the United States. The first question, describe the change in active internet users from February to March, So as you see here in the line graph here, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. X-axis represents the month, and here represents the users. I want to study the result between February and March. This is February and this is March. Between February and March. In the February, the number of users will be, as you see here, between 240 and 242, means 241. And in March here, the users will be 244. So is it increasing or decreasing here? As you see, from 241 to 244 means increasing. So I can write the number of active internet users increased. The second question here, predict how many active users there were in the October if the trend continued. Here we have September, October here. So if the line continued here, the result will be here. Here represent 234. Here represent 234. So I can write here about 234 million. About 234 million. The third question, were there more active users in February or May? So let us to compare. This is February and this is May. In the February, the number of users here will be 241, and in May will be 242. Which is greater, 241 or 242? 242. So
242.
in the May. So I can write here May. The fourth the fourth question here, based on your knowledge of internet users, how do you anticipate the graph to change after September? This question,
244.
this question from your opinion, from your experience. Here, the question said, if the graph continues, is it increase or decrease? And as you see here, if I study the moving of this graph, here increasing, then decreasing, then here stay, then will be also, then will be decrease, then will be increase. So I can run here, I can write here, I would expect the number of users to eventually increase again. So this is our lesson today. It's very easy lesson. Today we learned what the meaning of interpret graph line, and how to draw the graph line, and how to read the graph line. Now, who has a question for our lesson today?
Mister, you will give us a homework?
Yes, today we have homework, inshallah. It's clear for all?
Yes, Mister, it's clear.
This
What
lesson
is
will be
the
on the
Mister, the attendance started with the grade 6A.
No, we will continue now. We will have time. Now, my question now, what is the title of our lesson today? What is the title of our lesson today? What we learned today?
Mr. Graph line.
Graph line.
Mister, the graph line. Importance of graph lines.
Interpret graph line. We learned today how to draw the graph line. Then if we have a graph line, how to read the information from this graph. Right. Go with me now to the Alif program. This is our lesson today. Interpret line graphs. The number of our lesson today, 27. I want to, from all, when you finish your schedule today, to go inside your account in Alpha program and to start.
A line graph is a graph that displays a set of data points with straight line segments. Line graphs can help you visualize how a data set, such as this one, changes over time. The x-axis will always be labeled with the independent variable, or the input. Time will always be the independent variable in a line graph. The y-axis will always be labeled with the dependent variable, or output. The dependent variable is what is changing over time. Each data point is plotted as a coordinate pair. Then the points are connected with line segments. Finally, a title should be added to the top of the line graph. In today's lesson, you will learn how to represent a set of data using a line graph. One useful way to visualize data is a line graph. Let's review how to create a line graph from a table of values. Suppose Omar reads a few pages of a book each day. To create a line graph, we must first identify the independent variable and the dependent variable. Remember, the independent variable is the value that can be controlled. It is usually time, and we label it on the x-axis. In this example, the independent variable is the day. The dependent variable is the result from the independent variable. We label it along the y-axis. Here, the dependent variable is the number of pages read. Now we are ready to create the coordinate plane. Label the x-axis with day to represent the day, and label the y-axis with pages read. Next, we must choose a scale. We can count by ones for the x-axis since there are only 5 days of data. We must be sure the label along the y-axis goes up to 50, so we can count by 5s. Now we are ready to plot the points. The first data point will be at 121. The next will be at 230. Then another at 336. Another at 444. And finally, there is a point at 550. Now, we connect each point with a line segment. Finally, we must give the line graph an appropriate title. Let's call this line graph Omar's Reading Progress.
So I want to from all students, when you finish your schedule today, to go on your account inside Alif program and to solve this lesson and send me please your result. Send me your result, inshallah. And watch with me now this video.
This is Mrs. Dawson. Interpret line graphs. Sales. The line graph below shows the annual sales for a specialty clothing store over a period of years. Describe the trend. Then predict the annual sales in 2007. Let's begin by looking at the data. From 1999 to 2000, there was an increase. 2000 to 2001, still an increase, although a little bit smaller. And from 2001 to 2002, an overall increase. So the increase has been fairly steady. If we'd like to predict the annual sales in the year 2007, we'll follow the trend from those first 4 years, and it seems that the annual sales in 2007 would hit about here and be approximately $70,000.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bertram, and we are going to interpret line graphs. Population. What does the graph tell you about the population of a developing suburb? Well, as we look at the graph over here, we see from 1998 to 1999, there was a slight increase in population. And then from 1999 to 2001, there was a great increase in the population. From 2001 to 2002, again, there was just a slight increase in the population. So this graph tells us that from 98 to 99, there was a slight increase, and from 2001 to 2002, there was a slight increase. But most of the growth in this suburb was from 1999 to 2001.
Welcome to McGraw-Hill Personal Tutors. Make a line graph of the Drama Club membership data. Describe the change in the number of members from the first year to the 5th year. Let's go ahead and analyze the table that's been given to us about the Drama Club membership. We've got years 1 through 5, and the number of members range from 7 up to 25. So if you just take a look at the table, we'll notice that there's an increase each year. We go from 7 members to 12, and then up to 16, 19, and then 25. So every year there's an increase. So in our graph, we should see a similar type pattern. So let's go ahead and plot these points. We have ordered pairs of 1, 7, 2, 12, 3, 16, 4, 19, and finally, our 5th year, we have 25 members in the Drama Club. So let's go ahead and take a look at this graph. Notice that we don't have any numbers written on it. So we have our bottom, or our horizontal axis, is going to correspond to the year. And that's pretty easy because we just have 1 through 5. So I'll put those down on the horizontal axis. Now for the vertical axis, this is a little bit more challenging. We'll notice that we have a minimum number of 7. Maximum number is 25. If I was to increase and go up by ones, if you take a look and notice, not only am I not going to even reach hardly 7, but I'm not going to get the 25. So I cannot go in increments of 1. So we need to figure out a number that will allow us to fit both the number 7 and 25. So sometimes you just need to work with some numbers, but I'm going to start here and try the number 4. So we have 4, and then we would have 8. So I'm going to go by increments of 4, 12, 16, 20, 24, and I am able to fit 25 drama club memberships. So this is going to work. So I'm going to label this. This is a number of memberships. So let's go ahead and plot these points. So we had in year 1, 7 total memberships. So I'll come over to the one, right 1, and then up 7. And we're just going to estimate this because we don't have an exact increment that's 7, but it'll be close to 8. Then we have 2 12s to the right 2 and then up 12. 3 16s to the right 3, up 16. 4 corresponds to 19 memberships, which is close to 20, so we'll estimate that. And then 5 and 25. And 25 is just above the 24 increment that we placed on our vertical axis. So now it says this needs to be a line graph. So what we'll do is we'll connect each of these points with a straight line. Now remember, earlier we said that we saw a steady increase in the number of members in the drama club. If you take a look at the graph, you will notice that we have also a visual representation of that same exact fact, that we notice we have a steady increase as we go from year 1 to year 5. Thank you for using McGraw-Hill Personal Tutors.
Okay, this is our lesson today. Let us to take attendance now.
6A, Mr. 6A.
Okay.
Start from 6B, please.
6A, Mr.
أحمد.
موجود.
حمد الظاهري.
موجود أستاذ، موجود، أنا هنا.
حمد الجابري.
موجود.
حمدان العامري. حمدان سالم العامري. حمدان سالم العامري. طيب أبسنت. طيب حمدان علي الهجري.
موجود.
زايد النعيمي.
مستر اطلع.
سالم هداف.
مستر اطلع.
يس يو كان. سالم هداف. يعني سالم هداف له أكثر من 3 أسابيع ما حضر نهائيا، ولا يرسل واجبات ولا عم يحل في برنامج ألف. منين بدي أحط له علامات أنا؟ كيف يعني شو الوسيلة اللي أحط له علامة؟ طيب عبد الرحمن.
أستاذ موجود أنا عبد الرحمن موجود.
طيب عبد الله أحمد.
أستاذ اطلع.
عبد الرحمن موجود.
أوكي.
مع السلامة.
عبد الله أحمد. عبد الله مانع. عبد الله مانع. عبد الله مانع. علي حماد.
موجود مستر، موجود.
عبد الله مانع موجود. طيب عيسى.
السلام مستر.
مع السلامة عيسى. فلاح.
فلاح موجود.
منصور أحمد. نفس الوضع. منصور أحمد يمكن حضر درس أو درسين من بداية الفصل لهلا، وكمان لا يرسل واجبات ولا يرسل برنامج ألف. يمكن وصلني منه يوم الخميس واجب واحد فقط، يعني من ضمن عنا صرنا راسلين أكثر من 30 واجب، وصلني واجب واحد من 30. طيب أنا كيف بدي أحط لهم علامات هدول؟ يعني ما بعرف إذا هو ما بده يساعد نفسه أنا كيف بدي أساعده؟ منصور راشد
موجود.
موجود. منصور نايف. منصور نايف.
مستر
نعم.
أنا موجود.
شو اسمك؟
عبد الله.
عبد الله. اوكي يا عبد الله. منصور نايف. منصور نايف. absent. طيب ميلاد.
موجود مستر.
جريت ميلاد. هزاع. هزاع.
موجود مستر.
جريت.
مستر منصور نايف موجود.
اوكي.
سوري مستر my mic was lagging. مستر عادي يطلع.
Yes. Now 6B.
يلا مستر مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.
شكرا استاذ على الحصة مع السلامة.
مع السلامة ميلاد. خلفان.
موجود.
خليفة عبيد. خليفة عبيد. خليفة. دويس. 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 ذياب. 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 ذياب موجود. ذياب. كمان ذياب الأسبوع الثالث لم يحضر. الأسبوع الثالث لم يحضر. ولا يرسل واجبات ولا يرسل برنامج ألف. كمان نفس الوضع. سالم جمعة.
حاضر استاذ موجود.
جريت. سلطان خليفة.
موجود استاذ.
تمام. سالم سيف. سيف سالم. سيف سالم. اوكي. عبد الله محمد الجابري.
موجود استاذ.
جريت عبد الله. فارس.
استاذ انا طرشت لك حل اللي في الف وفي التين.
تمام. فارس. كمان فارس ما حضر حصة أو حصتين من بداية الفصل، وكمان ما أرسل واجبات ولا حضر اختبارات ولا سوى أي اختبار. كمان ما بعرف منين بدي أجيب له علامات، مالي عرفان، يعني شو هالإهمال هذا مالي عرفان. محمد سالم. محمد سالم.
موجود استاذ. موجود.
محمد عبد العزيز. محمد عبد العزيز.
موجود.
محمد عمار.
موجود استاذ. موجود.
محمد عمر.
موجود استاذ. موجود.
محمد ليش عم تغيب؟ الله يرضى عليك التزم بالحضور، عليه علامات الحضور. بعدين ما سويت الاختبار تبع الخميس الماضي يا محمد.
مستر do I leave؟
يس. منصور علي. منصور علي. منصور علي. absent. طيب منصور محمد.
هلا استاذ. موجود.
اوكي. موسى. 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 طيب ناصر عبيد.
هلا استاذ. نعم.
هلا ناصر، حياك الله. Okay. So this is our lesson today. Thank you for your listening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.